Hello guys, this is Wonderbit Trading and we're carrying on with our weekly Bitcoin and Ethereum price analysis. However, today we're going to concentrate primarily on the BTC price and you will see why in a little bit. And we're going to do it in a slightly reverse order. So usually we're starting from a larger time frames like a weekly one and then the daily chart, and only then turn to the local time frames. And now we're going to do it in the opposite direction. So in front of you, you can see the 4-hour Bitcoin price chart on Binance Exchange. And we saw on the 28th of August with quite a good volume, the consolidation triangle, which is this purple one, was broken down. So we assume that we are in a downward trend. This green channel is still holding. I can remove this consolidation triangle. However, the price stopped at a very interesting level of 9,400, which allows us to draw a new triangle with a flat base, and it seems like we are currently at the bottom of that triangle. This can be confirmed by a couple of factors. First of all, we can see a slight diversion here between the price and the AO indicator. At the same time, the price for the past 2 days, well, the last evening and today, moved above the alligator line. There is not much of a volume going on, but still we saw a peak in volume. At the same time, they went above the alligator, they formed a fractal, and even if we're considering that the consolidation triangle was breaking down on the 28th of August, we should see a retest of this 10,000 at least, and then carry on the downward movement towards the 9,000, which is the next large support level, if we're breaking this base with a good volume. If not, the opposite scenario is that we are currently in a new triangle. It's also a consolidation triangle with a flat base, and to make sure that we are in this one, we have to break the 10,000 level with good volume, and then we can carry up the move towards the upper part of the triangle, and we might consolidate in this triangle till the end of September, and there will be a couple of factors that support that statement later on in the video. So two scenarios in the 4-hour chart: either we're just rechecking the 10,000 as a resistance now and then breaking the base and going towards the 9,000 level, or we're breaking this 10,000, which becomes support again, retesting it back and going to the upper part of the triangle. Let's switch to the daily chart right now to see the long-term perspective of Bitcoin, but we're gonna do this on the Bitstamp exchange because it has the longest time frames in terms of the history. So switching to the daily chart, and I will just turn in some other indicators which will show you a couple of things either in favor of the bearish market or in favor of the bull market. So we're currently at the crossroads actually. So let's start with a very simple thing. On the daily, you can see that if we draw the Fibonacci retracement from the bottom, which we saw in early 2019, to the very top, which we saw in June, we reached the 0.38 level, which is a very good support level for the strong bullish trend. However, what we may experience similar to the 2018 market is a long consolidation in the triangle, and I will show you like this. So we're going up, we're going down, we're consolidating towards the end, and then a strong move down towards 0.5 retracement, and then another peak up, which is a very similar scenario which we saw in 2018 in a long bearish market. So there was a huge consolidation in terms of the time, and then we broke down, we found the new bottom, and then start going up. This is one of the scenarios which is possible based on the idea that we see that the retracement can still go down towards 0.5, which will be the 8,600 level. At the same time, this level will cover the EMA future cap, which formed in June or May. So if you are in favor of this hypothesis that every future gap should be covered. This is another statement why we might see this drop down to 8,500 and then go up. Another indicator which supports that on the daily chart is the EMA ribbon. So if I switch that in, we crossed it down, and the crucial bit, if I enlarge this, is that not only it start to shrink, but it start to intertwine and change the direction. So this is quite an interesting signal, and it looks more like a bearish signal, obviously, rather than the bullish one. So what we should expect is to have a touch of this EMA ribbon and then break down. So this is another point in favor of the bearish market, at least for the next month or so. So we'll talk about the short-term trade. However, let's look at the positive side. And the positive is just a simple 128-day moving average. And this is coming from the Willy Woo idea. And we talked about this guy before in our previous videos. So you can look up his Twitter or his personal blog to see this. And kissing this 128-day moving average is a very good sign. And the whole story behind this is that during the bullish market, I will switch on the logarithm chart, during the previous bullish market, as soon as we saw the breakout, we touched this 128 MA several times throughout the bullish market. So actually touching this line, and this is what's happening right now, so I think we barely touched it, we almost touched it, so we might see another short-term downward trend. Touching this means that the retracement of the bullish market is over and the market is ready for another bull run. And this is one factor in favor of the continuation of the bullish market. There is also an article on the Bitcoin price and 4 key similarities to the previous bull market, and you can find it on Cointelegraph. And it's a very nice article suggesting that we are actually currently finishing our retracement of the bullish market, and we're comparing it with 2016 bullish market, so we should go up in a quite nearest future. Okay, let's switch to the weekly chart right now, because the weekly chart can show us some interesting facts as well. So, on the weekly chart, there is an interesting formation which we can count as a double top formation, which is obviously the bearish signal for us. So this looks like double top. And if we're gonna break below the 9,300, 9,400, we're definitely in a bearish market. And then this retracement of this impulse move will take us longer in terms of finding the new support or maybe the new bottom. Another really important thing is the RSI support, but this is in favor of the bull market. So if you look historically on the RSI and look at the bull market, which started in 15 and carried on 16 and 17 years, so when we broke above, this line is the support line for our RSI indicator during the bullish market. And we're currently going towards the same support level, which means that in a short term we might see the downward move, but then later on there will be a move up. One last thing that I wanted to show you in support of this retracement and then continuation of the bull market would be the idea that on the weekly chart the 50 moving average is actually going towards this 8,600 level as well. We can switch the 25 and 100 and the support area, the first support area at which the price will touch it on a weekly basis will be 8,600, which is also the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement, the breakdown of the double top, the breakdown of the triangle, and if the price will move down, the RSI will touch this base that we drew on a weekly chart as well. If we switch the exponential moving average, this is also the time where it will meet the first EMA, the fastest one. So it seems like overall the conclusion about the Bitcoin price is quite similar in terms of the short-term trend should be should carry on with a short-term retracement, and then we can start another cycle in terms of the upward movement. So let's talk a little bit about the altcoins, and the reason that I wanted to show you the altcoins right at the end, because they all form a very similar pattern. We'll need just one indicator for that, and we'll start from Ethereum as the top altcoin. For that one, we will need just the moving averages to show you one crucial point over here, and we'll start from the daily chart. I will leave just the 50 and 200 moving averages, and what you can see is coming is so-called the death cross. It's when the 50 moving average is crossing down the 200 moving average, and this is happening across plenty of altcoins. So Ethereum is currently about to do this cross, while the others, some of them already did it, like Cardano, for example, or let's talk about Dash. What else? Ethereum Classic just did it. IOTA as well. So they all follow the similar path. Tron also did it. So they all go in a similar path. They all just formed or are forming the death cross, and this is an indicator of the bearish market for the technical analysts. So we would assume that the price of the altcoins will carry on going further down. And this also makes sense in terms of the overall news about the BACT that is going to be launched on the 23rd of September. So we'll need our Bitcoins. That's one thing. And another thing which is very interesting, and it's to do more with the long-term investment into cryptocurrency and especially Bitcoin, is this article from Bloomberg. The unstoppable surge in negative yield reaches 17 trillion. So the whole point is that 30% of all investment-grade securities now bear sub-zero yields. But the most important factor for us is that the European Central Bank sent to decide in September whether to cut interest rates further below zero, which means that we are going towards the recession. And the article also mentioned that this is the raising the specter of the bond bubble. So if so, and if you remember our video about Bitcoin as a potential diversified asset, this can be the idea that somewhere in September, maybe towards the end of September, we might see the cut of the interest rate, we might see the interest in Bitcoin, and to buy it for the institutional investors at a good price, we'll need to bring the price down even further a little bit. So we're expecting in the short run the price to go down, then there will be a local bottom where the institutional investors should buy it in, and this will depend on the volume. That's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel and stay tuned to our weekly Bitcoin and Ethereum price analysis. Also subscribe to our Telegram channel to receive daily reviews of the cryptocurrency assets, and best of luck with your trading.